Today's episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by System 12 Guitar Method. Sign up today at RyanRoxie.com.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
Hello, folks. Ryan Roxie here, and welcome to another edition of In the Trenches. I am your host, and guess what? Sometimes we do it every week. We do it every other week when I go on tour. Sometimes we take a little hiatus. But you know what? We are back, and we've been back for a couple weeks now, and we are hitting it off hard time with a bunch of great guests coming up, and today is definitely one of our best. I've been looking forward to this one. So as you all file into the live chat, thank you very much for doing that. Everyone that's listening on Apple Broadcasts, or if you're on Spotify, any of those other platforms, thank you very much for listening to the audio. But get into our YouTube channel right here. It's Ryan Roxie Official on YouTube. And guess what? If you can do us a quick favor right now while you're here, just give us a like. It helps us with the algorithm. It gets the word out. It gets more views, gets more eyeballs on rock and roll. And that's what we're trying to build over here in the trenches. So let's get into it, shall we? We have had the pleasure to tour with our guest band earlier this year. So hopefully many of you that were able to see a bit of his personality, his big personality, when we did our after show live streams on the Roxie All Access Instagram live views that we did, but a little bit more on the All Access Instagram leg 3 a little bit later in the program. But without any further delay, let's bring on this iconic, esoteric, and definitely unique bassist from one of the world's most straight-ahead rock bands, Buckcherry. Would you please welcome into the trenches, Kelly LeMieux. Hello, Kelly.
Hey, wow, what an introduction.
Yeah, I called you esoteric right out of the gate.
Dude,
Look at him.
I was...
You froze right out of the gate. I love it. It was your brand. It worked. Perfect, though. What is that? Is that your...
No, that's just it was a gift mug. It's got my little squatch on it. Eat, drink, roar, baby.
Well, you know what? I'm going to talk about Buckcherry. I'm going to talk about those amazing golden locks of hair of yours. I'm going to talk about the other incredible bands that you have been in and still are in, I guess, because you never really left. But bands like Goldfinger, Dave Mustaine's MD45, Shrine, Stork, Electric Love Hogs. There's so much to talk about. But
Fear.
Oh, my God, Fear as well. Do not fear. I will talk about all of them. I'll pepper them in through our new sort of segment that we have called, what is it, Vic Chalfont? Hawt Topix. We need some theme music. We got to, you know what? We need. Oh, we don't have the new. You know what? I swear to God, we have umlauts over the O in a new logo. But that'll have to wait for next week. That'll have to wait for next week. Don't worry. Enjoy your Friday. Don't let it affect your performance. We will have umlauts over the next time soon. But let's get into our first hot topic. And your mug said it all, because you are not only the bassist of Buckcherry, and you are on tour right now. Thanks for taking the time out of your tour to spend with us in the trenches.
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this.
How's it going, by the way, just out on the road? I heard you just played, I think you just played Buffalo Chip and you did Sturgis, right?
We did. It was off the chain. We did the chip, and you've done the chip. Actually, I heard a rumor you guys were gonna, Snoop ended up canceling. And I heard a rumor maybe you guys were gonna come in and fill in that spot. And for like 2 hours, I was really excited, and then no offense, Ice-T and Bone Thugs and Harmony came in, but I would.
Oh, dude, that's the perfect step in for it. I mean, Coop filling in for Snoop might have been poop, if you think what I mean. And see, I rap too. I don't know. Is that a real rap?
Is that a rap or a crap? Are you a rapper, crapper, rapper?
Dude, we're like dad
Snoop and
rapping
poop.
right now. This is bad. This is bad. Let's move on to Hot Topics, something that we
Let's
know
go.
about. Something that you know about. There it is. We'll get that omelets over the yo, but it's Hot Topics. And guess what? I wore my hat. You have a mug. Again, if you're watching on the YouTube official channel and you're listening, get on over to Ryan Roxie Official, because that you can see Kelly LeMieux in all his glory, and you can see my hat. And it's basically
Shaka.
what you are a big fan of. It's one of your interests. It's a hobby. I know Chaka is not from the Bigfoot family, but our first hot topic is Bigfoot, aliens, and rock and roll. So where did we get this news from, Vic? I know we pulled it out of somewhere from. Maybe we haven't. No.
Yeah.
I guess we picked it up from Steve Austin. But
That's
usually we have some sort of plan where we filmed it from and where we got it from, a story from. I think it was something out of the History Channel. Yeah, that's right. I know there was a headline. And what started your fascination with Bigfoot?
Just as a little kid, honestly, I tried to map it back, and I think it started with the original Planet of the Apes.
All right.
I was fascinated with that, and then that famous right there, that's Patty, the famous Patterson Gimlin with the undulating breasticles, you can see right there. That was
What year was that?
1967. That was October 28th, 1967. Bob Gimlin, who was also there when that was filmed, Roger Patterson filmed that on like Super 8 or whatever in Northern California, Bluff Creek. And that was 1967. Now, I believe the Academy Awards for Best Makeup was also Planet of the Apes that year in 67 or 68. So if you look at that blown up in high def, and then you look at the Planet of the Apes, that Patterson Gimlin is way better makeup than Planet of the Apes.
Okay. This is widely regarded as sort of the Zapruder film of Bigfoot.
It's actually the second most watched film after the Zapruder film.
Really? See,
I just
read
that on the internet. I just read that on the internet, so it must be real.
You gotta believe it. It must be real. Now, have you broken this up by frame, that sort of thing? Because that picture, because I will get into this Sasquatch Genome Project.org. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Probably the one where they're doing they're trying to get all the genetics out of it. That's what you're talking about.
That's true. That's
true.
They did
one with Dr. Melba Ketchum did it originally, but she got totally poo-pooed. And here's the thing: a lot of people that try to go scientific on this stuff, they get completely shot down. For some odd reason, mainstream science, it's still considered like bullshit, boogeyman BS.
But isn't because aliens are so much in the talk right now, isn't it becoming more and more like maybe it was real all along, and now the powers that be are just putting out that information so we will accept it when there are Bigfoot and aliens walking around among us? I mean, how do you believe about that? Because our whole generation, we were taught to believe that, that's a little bit of hocus pocus, Bigfoot, aliens, they don't exist. But when did you start becoming a believer?
Well, I grew up, I was actually born in Oregon, and then we moved, my father was from Minnesota. We moved to Minnesota, so I spent all of the 70s, hence my Vikings allegiance. Skull. We're going to be good this year.
Skull.
And then we moved back to Oregon. In Oregon, as you know, as a lot of people don't know, I mean, the West Coast is typically considered Bigfoot Central, but if you do any research, them suckers are all over the place. The only state there's been no Bigfoot reports is Hawaii. Oh, there's me and Squatch right there in Portland. That's actually Portland, Maine, at the plug at the Cryptid Museum. Lauren Coleman owns that. That is in Portland, Maine.
You know a lot about Bigfoot.
Cool. I have too much.
So it kind of proves the point, or proves some people's theories that Bigfoot do not swim. Oh
no, that's bullshit. They swim.
So why didn't they go to Hawaii?
They just don't swim. That's a long way to swim. But they do swim. They've people have seen. Yeah, they'll cut a log out and ride that sucker. No, they've been seen swimming. So I live in Oregon, and as you know, the Columbia Gorge right there, that beautiful. I don't know if you take. I forget what the name of the freeway is. I'm never home. I can never remember. People have seen them swimming across that sucker. There's been reports of a younger one they thought got trapped on the freeway. That you can Google all this stuff. And
we're going to try and put our links below after this live stream. We will put some links in the description of this episode of In the Trenches.
There you go. And that photo right there is my buddy Cliff Barrickman from Finding Bigfoot. That's in Boring, Oregon, right by Mount Hood. That is the North American Bigfoot Center. Awesome place. If you're ever in Portland or around Portland, it's about 20 minutes outside of Portland. It's called Boring. It's right before you head up to Mount Hood. Awesome. And he's got all the casts, all kinds of crazy, just insane. It's really cool. Cliff, shout out, baby.
There it is, man. So the thing is about Bigfoot and aliens in 2022, because everybody does have a camera on their phone, or they actually have a phone attached to their camera these days. I don't know which is which now. Used to be a camera phone. Now it's a phone camera. But the thing is, we use it more as a camera. We're always documenting stuff. Wouldn't you think there would be more Bigfoot sightings?
Yes.
But why not?
You would think. Well, have you ever tried to film a bird from 30 feet away? Or for starters, but check this out. If you're walking through the forest and already in the morning, no, I'm just kidding. I know you're in a different time. Just fucking with you. Have you ever put it this way? Say you're walking through the forest and a bear is about 30, 40 feet away from you. Are you going to pull your phone out and try and film that bear, or are you going to turn around and go the other direction? Or you can sit there and go, oh, fuck, a bear.
Yeah. But you're not, this is our generation. I think the younger generations, they want the likes, they want the views, so they'll actually film it. I don't know. I'm just,
I hope so.
You've seen a lot more alien sort of sightings as well. And there is actually an article that we had put up, and I had actually sent over the headline that had basically a theory that Bigfoot and aliens, Bigfoot might be aliens, and they might use time portals. And that's the reason why you can never find a Bigfoot carcass, because they actually escape or through time portals. What do you think about it?
So there's so much to unwrap in all of that. It's we need a 2-hour segment. But I will say this. I've listened to, read, yada, yada. So there is a theory that the aliens and the big feet, Bigfoot, big feet.
Yeah. How do you pluralize that?
We're going to have to figure out what their
pronoun.
They want to be, their pronoun. That's what it is.
Bigfoot day.
Yeah. Big feet. So there is a theory that they are connected to the star people. Now, I like to go back to the natives who were here and around all this stuff, and their whole concept and theory. There's a lot of the native tribes believe that the trees, Bigfoot, big feet, Sasquatch, we'll call them, actually can use some of these ancient trees as portals. And they can, I know this is getting so fringy and so bizarre, and probably everybody's rolling.
Dude,
I can hear the eyes rolling right now.
I'm getting my aluminum foil out as we speak, because I'm actually making my hat.
And this is the problem. And this is why I'm to the point now where I don't really talk about it that much.
I don't want to hear about it, because I'm genuinely interested, because I think there might be something to it, because the theory that I was going with was that big feet have always been around. Bigfooters
Yeah.
Bigfooters,
If you,
Bigfoot has always been around through time, and being that, and along with Homo sapiens, right? And so when there was a division and there was war going on, us humans sort of went into society. We sort of started civilizations. We sort of started societies, if you will. And Bigfoot, even though they had their society, they went with nature and became not just one with nature. They learned how to manipulate nature, so they could be like hiding in nature or camouflaging in nature, even when we're just walking through a forest. There could be a couple big feet around, and we don't even know.
So the natives believe that the big boss, the boss of the mountains, they believe, not every tribe, but a lot of the tribes believe that he was put there as a guardian to watch over the forest so we don't come in and fuck it all up, which we're doing anyways. That's a concept with a lot of the tribes. I actually like to listen to like a lot of the natives say about it, because a lot of their theories sound so fantastical, but now that everything's catching up with it and more is coming, it's actually starting to go like, oh, well, that's what they thought the whole fucking time.
Right.
So, yes, there's also, a lot of people think that UFOs, aliens, all these cryptids, the ghosts,
ghosts, yes,
all that stuff is all in the same little package. It's all related. That's what a lot of people are starting to conceptualize now.
The research that I did, there was a time when the ghost believers and the alien nation and the Bigfoot societies, they didn't really talk so much together.
Nope, not at all.
But now they're starting to come together. And this was the article that I was looking at, is Bigfoot an extraterrestrial visitor? And again, we will try and put these links down into the description of this In the Trenches. Because honestly, I don't just want to talk about Bigfoot, but I know that's a big passion of yours, and you seem to be very, very knowledgeable about it. So go on, continue your point.
Stan Gordon. There's a gentleman named Stan Gordon who's been studying. He's from Pennsylvania, and he's written some books, numerous books. He's been studying UFOs and Bigfoot because there was a flap in the late 60s. I believe he was a very young man at the time, and he was one of the first kind of field researchers. He's a real smart dude, very intellectual. And with all these UFO sightings that were happening in Pennsylvania, all of a sudden there was a flap of Bigfoot sightings too. So they would see the UFOs, then like 3 minutes later, 3 or 4 Bigfoots would be coming out of the forest. You can Google all this stuff, Stan Gordon, and look at, and that was in the 60s. So I don't know, man. I know what I read. There he is. You found him. Good job. And that's an old picture.
Big Chalfant.
Good job.
What does he look like now? He looks a little bit older now.
He looks just like that, except for his hair is gray.
Well, you know what, Kelly LeMieux? You might be part Bigfoot. That's why you're here to talk about it on this podcast
you know what
now.
They say,
you're from Oregon. You tick all the boxes. You got lovely hair. You know what I'm saying? It's just styled a little bit better than a Bigfoot, but you got amazing hair.
Not totally true. I've heard some stories of some people seeing these things perfectly groomed, like they just walked out of a salon.
Okay.
Not kidding. Maybe they were on the UFO at the salon getting their hair did. Getting their hair did on the UFO.
Dude, Alien Nation and Bigfoot societies unite, and dude, you guys all go ghost catching.
Have you seen a UFO before?
I've seen strange stuff. I've seen one time. I've seen a very strange aerial thing that I could not explain driving in my car, and it definitely bolted. I was in Northern California, where I'm actually on my way on Highway 5, San Francisco to LA. That's Highway 5. It's just that straight shot, and then I just saw it.
I have too. Yep. I'm not exact coming from when I was in Fear. Name drop. We did a show in Portland, and we were going down. I think we did Slim's the next night, and we were driving, and this was a van tour. I had my own little bench seat, and I was laying down sleeping, and I remember Lonnie was driving, the driver, and I woke up. It was probably 7 in the morning. The sun was coming in, and I remember laying down and looking up in the sky, and I saw this little BB. And, it could have been like a super fast moving satellite, but it was going way too fast, and it had like a little trail coming off of it, and it was just hauling ass across the sky. And I remember sitting up and watching it, and then moving over to the other side of the van and looking out the window. And I just remember Lonnie driving and looking in the mirror like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And that was one of 3 or 4 times I've seen some weird ass shit. I saw one in New York City too.
What do you think about today in 2022, where there's so many? They've even changed the name of UFO. It's
yeah, they did. It's
unidentified flying
aerial UAP
phenomena. UAPs.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Do you feel that it's probably that it might be military exercises that are already out there, military technology that's already been developed, or do you feel that it might actually be like, because of the times we're in, these tumultuous times, maybe people from different times or different planets, from a different time or from a different planet? Is it us warning ourselves?
I'm
getting deep, baby, getting deep down that rabbit hole.
I've thought about it because, there's a lot of, if you go online, Vic, and look, they say that off the coast of Southern California, you can see these lines underneath the water, and there's a lot of UAPs going under, or there's a name for the underwater ones, and they'll see UFOs go into the water. And there's a lot of people, which gets back to Bigfoot and all these cryptids, that they think that there's all these like underground UFO colonies, whatever. So maybe they come from someplace else and they've always been here. You want to get really weird, get into the whole moon thing. How come we're going to Saturn when we haven't even colonized the moon, and the moon is right there? And if the Earth rotates and shifts, how come the moon's always the same shot? Like, you never get the backside of the moon.
The dark side? Isn't the dark side, doesn't the moon just rotate as well?
I don't think, I'm not sure. I gotta Google that, because I've seen some weird stuff about the dark side of the moon, and it's like, why are we going to Saturn when we haven't even colonized the moon? Because we showed up on the moon and somebody was already there going, "Get the fuck out, motherfucker." That's a whole other episode.
All right, folks. I'm gonna leave this really, really deep subject right now and ask you probably the biggest, deepest, darkest question that I probably could think of at this moment. Why did you choose to play bass guitar instead of regular guitar?
Ooh, that's it. That is an easy one. You know why? Well, I'll tell you what. When I was a little kid in Minnesota, I lived in Faribault, Minnesota there, and
that's great there.
Oh yeah. We're gonna go over to the Piggly Wiggly and get a pop. There was oh, look at me. I think I was 3 or 4.
You started as a pianist. I did not know that.
No, that was a fake piano. I used to sit in front of that thing and plink the crap out. My mom said I would sit there for hours and just be all ding, 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 ding. I still can't play piano. But there was a music store. What's that?
And I said, no problem, Schroeder.
Yeah, right.
Like
exactly.
Schroeder. You're a little Schroeder right there.
I wish.
Where's my? Go back to it. Is that not Schroeder? Come on. I don't know. There you go. That's right. Honestly, put you in cartoon form. All right, now let's go. So
I'm already in cartoon form. So you know how they hang the guitars up on the wall? You know, when you go to a music store, and they're kind of just hanging there, and they're kind of, some of them, it depends on how they hang, but they'll touch the wall or whatever. So I used to go over, I was probably 6, 7, 8, and I would walk over, and you hit the guitar, and it goes plink, 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 and you walk over, and you hit one bass string, and the windows start vibrating, and it's not even plugged in. And then, And then your buddy that lives across the street from you, my buddy Mark Steinberg, gives you an 8-track, not a vinyl, not cassette, gives you an 8-track of Kiss Alive 1. And look at that. That was Oregon right there.
Nice shot, dude.
Wow, you really found some good ones. I think I still have those pants.
I think you wore them on the last tour that we did. Dude.
I may have.
I really do.
I may
Are
have.
those Capizios as well?
Are they not Capizios is the question. Of course they are.
I wear Capizio knockoffs. So what happened? You got an 8-track of Kiss Alive 1.
So it gave Kiss, and I just remember hearing the bass. It was all Puga, Puga. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? Holy shit. What that? Oh my, I never wanted to play guitar. I always went straight to the bass. It was always like just even on my Facebook, it says job description. It's thunderstick manipulator. There it is. I'm manipulating the thunderstick. It's like my hair is shocked right there. But
you know what they say. They say, Kelly. They say that guitar players get all the glory, bass players get all the chicks.
Yeah,
and they hold on to all their per diems.
Maybe so. I only need one good chick. I don't need all of them.
You got one. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So hey, let's talk a little bit about of course the other bands that you're in, but not a topic of Bigfoot that you're associated with the band Buckcherry. Because Bigfoot, I would say, is as far as all, the sort of known aliens, known phenomenon. There's like Loch Ness, perhaps, maybe, we don't know, abominable snowman. But guess what? They're kind of opening acts. What we're talking about, Bigfoot is always the headliner, always sort of the front man of phenomenon. And this brings us to our second hot topic, folks. Hot topic. We need to have some sort of music going. Robbie Miller, why are you not putting it on there?
Umlaut, umlaut.
Apologies about the second umlaut not being over the O. It'll happen next week. I promise you. A personal promise from me to you in the trenches. Faithful.
Might have to put some flames on those umlauts.
Oh, you know what? One of the earlier sort of designs that we had sent over by our good friend Erwin Longley, who's a graphic artist, great graphic artist. He had flames over there, one of those. But that's time for another show.
That's a great band name, the Flaming Umlauts.
The Flaming Umlauts? Okay. Is
that our side project?
I know Flaming Lips is already there. So Flaming Lips, Umlauts. Okay. Well, anyway, Bigfoot being sort of the frontman of all phenomenon. Our second hot topic has to do with a quote that Mr. Phil Collen from Def Leppard had said earlier this week from Blabbermouth, the good people at Blabbermouth, saying, what's up with all the newer bands? They are lacking star power. Basically, here's his whole quote, and you can tell me if you agree, disagree with Phil, because where have all the frontmen gone? Phil's quote was, Metallica's great. When you see them, there's a big difference. Phil said, Guns N' Roses are awesome. I don't see that anymore in the new bands. I don't see that star power. I don't see that kind of thing. So that's what I'm waiting for. Do you believe that there is a lack of frontmen in the business? Because you have a special frontman in Josh Todd with Buckcherry. I feel that he's like one of the most entertaining. He's got the whole package, the whole performance thing. You've worked with some great frontmen over the years.
Yep.
What do you think about today's frontmen?
Well, I think for starters, I think there's less young rock bands.
Overall.
So is he just talking rock, or does he mean overall?
I think Phil Collen was talking more about the newer rock bands that are out, bands in general.
All I can really think of is what's the kid, Luke from the Struts? People love him, but he is very much Freddie Mercury incarnate visually. So he has definitely, which whatever, we all have our influences.
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, Axl Rose was Janis Joplin incarnate to a certain degree.
Sure. Or Axel Merman.
That's true too. That's true too.
No, but you're absolutely right. That guy, when he came out, everybody was like, "What the fuck?" I agree. Also, what's the other kid? And now, of course, he's channeling Robert Plant, Greta Van Fleet,
The lead singer of Greta Van Fleet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, those
whom they say that they've
really-
never really gotten into and listened to. But
okay, well, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. But I don't. But hey, we all have our influences. I mean, if they're afraid Zeppelin's gonna sue them, Zeppelin's got enough money. They're not gonna sue them. Just admit you love fucking Led Zeppelin. Okay, that's all I'm asking. Don't have to lie about everything. But
I mean, and here's the thing: Phil does not want to come across sounding like an old guy. Because he even said that in the interview. He said, "Look, I don't want to come across as one of those crotchety old guys. I'm just waiting for something new to happen." And it's my belief that there's something new that has happened, but because we are sort of older, crotchety guys,
we don't know.
It's happening without our knowledge. And I can think of a couple.
Oh, lay them on me. Who you got?
Okay, I will lay them on you, although, Def Leppard's Phil Collen thinks TikTok and YouTube crowd is a problem. Wait a second. I don't have a problem with our YouTube crowd. In fact, I have no problem at all, so much so that I want you to hit a like on our video right now and hit the subscribe button. And we even have a TikTok channel that, of course, we are trying to promote. But you know what? I am a little bit old school. I can sort of be unbeknownst of bands are happening, but there's a few that have stuck out to me, and I'll lay a few of them. You can agree with me or not agree with me. A band that's making a lot of waves now is the band Manskin. Damiano David from the band Manskin. Do we have a picture of him, Vic? What would you say?
They're the Euro guys, right?
Of course, they're the Eurovision winners, but there's Damiano David right there.
There you go.
What do you think?
If I looked real quick, I would just go Marilyn Manson
or Perry Farrell. Maybe it has a little bit of a Perry Farrell vibe.
There you go. That's a good one too.
And it's okay to be derivative as long as you put enough of your own personality into it. And then that's just pure, that's just pure glam cover model. I love it.
I don't know the songs. How are their songs? That's my problem with a lot of these bands. Look great, but they don't have any fucking songs.
Well, Manskin's got a lot of songs that people are digging. Younger people are on it. They have a little bit of take a dash of Chili Peppers, take a dash of Jane's Addiction, and take a dash of just like, their own style as well. Make it your own. Here's another artist. Here's another artist that I'll lay on you, and you tell me if you think it's a great frontman or not. It's Youngblood from the UK.
Oh,
Youngblood.
Of course. I was trying to think of him. I just recently discovered him. That guy's a fucking rock star.
There you go.
But he's more of a pop star than a rock star. So I think that is where the lines are getting blurred. There's not as much rock as there is pop. So some of these guys back in our day would have been rock guys, but now are like, because maybe of TikTok and YouTube, they're going a more solo artist route as opposed to a band route. But yeah, that guy for sure.
But you do have to understand that at one point in his career, Alice Cooper was considered a pop star.
Of course,
he's always been a rock star, but he got to that level where he was a pop star.
Stars. Yeah, what we are is what we are. I know that song as a little kid. I remember. I love that song. I didn't know that was Alice Cooper until there's me and the Frankencoop.
Frankencoop, I know. There it is, and it was a good version of you singing. What was that song? Who we are is what we are. You and me. You and me. There you go. We got to do that.
I love that song. That is a great fucking song.
All right.
But yes, he was considered a pop star. I remember seeing him on TV and asking my mom, "What's that?" And she would go, "Oh, that's Alice Cooper." And I'm like, "That's a dude, right?" She goes, "Yeah." I'm all, okay. I also thought Dinah Shore's name was Dinosaur. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to watch Dinah Shore." I'm like, "I love dinosaurs." And she's like, No.
Well, here we go. I'm going to move on the list with some frontmen. You tell me, new rock stars, are they pushing it to the next level? Are they carrying the torch, so to speak? Because, at some point I want Phil, because again, Phil maybe doesn't know about all these names that we're mentioning. If he does know about some of them, maybe he can pipe in and have his own opinion about it as well. What do you think about Machine Gun Kelly? Frontman?
here's, you know, I liked him as Tommy Lee on the Dirt movie. I don't, you know, I think he's more of a pops. He's kind of pop. I think he's just, I don't know enough about him, but I feel like he's just trying to ride the wave of popularity, and which is, you know, fine.
Good looking rock star. I think Vic's trying to desperately find a picture of Machine Gun Kelly because I sent him one, or I actually sent him a note to, hey, where are you doing? He's shaking his head at me going, this fucking guy. Wait a second.
I'm not sure about him.
All right, don't worry about it, Vic. That time is that ship has sailed. Oh, you can't put it up now. Oh, he did it. There you go.
I'll give him props. He's got a guitar.
That's true. He does got a good, and he has a female guitar player as well in his band.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So there you go. So now Machine Gun Kelly's got a female guitar player, and you know what? Demi Lovato's got a female guitar player in the band.
I heard.
Got our female guitar player. How about that?
I heard a rumor. I saw.
You saw a rumor? Well, you know what? You're going to be seeing us out on the road in just about a month or two. And we're wishing Nita nothing but the best with Demi Lovato. I know the tour is kicking off this weekend. So good luck to you. Have a great Demi show. Have a great Demi tour. And
kick ass, Nita.
Kick ass, definitely.
We know you will.
And
she's a kick ass chick.
And you're having some great shows over the weekend as well. And we're going to be out there in just about a month. Well, less than a month actually, with Mr. Kane Roberts behind the guitar. What do you think about that?
I can't wait.
Is Kane Roberts a pop star? Is he a frontman?
He could be.
He's not 2022, dude. We're talking only 2022. New guys, and Kane's from the old school. He's from us. He's from us dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. That would be a good name of a rock band, a collective of us guys. We're the Dinosaurs.
I like it.
I like that. I like that better than, what was the other one you came up with earlier?
I forget. A Flaming Umlaut.
Flaming Umlauts. Well, you know what? We need an opener as well. All right, I'll go with a couple band. Here's a band that we toured with a little bit in Europe just recently with Alice Cooper, the lead singer of Dirty Honey, great rock and roll band, Mark LaBelle. You know who he is? Maybe we have a picture of him.
I know a little bit. I don't. I'm not familiar with a lot of their tunes. I think I met those guys in Nashville at Black Shag Vintage. They were in there, and I said hey to them, and they seemed like nice kids. I don't know. I need to go do a little more research. I think I've seen like one video. He seems like he's definitely flying the flag of rock and roll, though.
Okay,
sure.
There you go. Okay, I give that a thumbs up.
They look like rock and rollers.
Okay, so that'll be another name that we send on over to Phil in his tweets, in his Twitter. I don't even think he has Twitter, but if he does, then maybe somebody from our great, dedicated In the Trenches chat will send word of Phil that we talked about it, and we gave him some suggestions of people. The last one that I have on the list, and maybe it'll inspire you to think of someone else, is Remington Leith from Palais Royale. Do you know that band?
Oh, I do know that band. Are they also UK, right?
Nope, they're actually Vegas. They're actually from Las Vegas, but they look.
Are you shitting me?
Look at that. That's not Rockstar. That's not
That is a rock star. Okay.
That is Frontman right away.
That is Frontman. Riddle me this. How are the songs?
Songs are good. I like it. I do like them. You know,
he looks like a rock star. If the songs are good, I give him Rockstar a thumbs up.
Yeah. And my apologies for those of you that go, but what about the women? What about the front women? This question was merely inspired from the front men. All right.
I was going to say there are some new school rocker girls out there too.
Absolutely. Lead singer of Plush, Mariah, bringing it every single night. There's another band called Starcrawler. I don't know if you know Starcrawler. One of my favorite.
Of course I do. Of course I do. Yeah. Yeah.
So we will give.
So maybe the women are creeping in on the men when it comes, because those girls are playing rock.
Just like we talked about with Kane Roberts last week, maybe the women are actually kicking our ass right now.
Maybe they got bigger hoo-hoos than the dudes.
Stepping up, though, I feel that Remington, Mark, Youngblood, Machine Gun, Damiano David, you know what? You're going to be on our list that we send over to Phil Collen. And you know what? He's going to appreciate that list, I feel. In a perfect world,
he should.
He'll appreciate it. And he'll say, you know what, mate? I will be on your podcast. I will say yes to your team now. Right? How's that?
I think you're right. You should. Has he been on? You should have him on.
Haven't had him on yet. He came on. He was on stage with us. He came up and jammed a Goon Squad show with us where we do that when we're on tour with Alice Cooper. We do sort of a side thing where Glenn Sobel and Tommy and Chuck and myself go and we do the international set list. He just happened to be in town in of all places, Birmingham, Alabama, and he came up to the club right there and played a couple songs with us. I think we played 20th Century Boy, and it was good.
Phil, if you're listening, come on the show.
There you go. Well, hey, man, I'm going to go full screen right now, give us a little commercial break, and we are here with Kelly LeMieux from the band Buckcherry. I promise you we will be talking more bass guitar and a little bit more about the music, but you know what? We love these hot topics, and we also love to sort of give you all the insider's perspective. And that's the reason why we have this sort of new format. We're given an insider's perspective of what the hot topics are in rock and roll these days. But if you want the insider's perspective of what's going on our tour, well, guess what, folks? That is what the Roxie All Access Pass is all about. It's right there. Let me see if I got my hand right there. And you can check out Roxie's All Access Pass at ryanroxie.com/all access pass, or just go on to my Instagram or my website, ryanroxie.com, and they will give you all the links that lead right to it. And what is it? It's basically the inside sort of perspective from the minute I step off of the plane to start the tour to the day I step off the tour. And we're doing 3 legs. We've already done 2 legs so far. We did a US leg, we did the European leg, and now we're going back with leg 3 with Kane Roberts in the band. So it should be very interesting. A lot of cool content that will be sort of posting up every single day, because I know on the regular Instagram account, you don't want to always see every single bit in detail that's going on in our lives, but that's what we do on All Access. You get to see everything that we're doing in a lot of special sort of behind the scenes look at what it's like to be in the Alice Cooper band, and from my perspective. So check out the Roxie All Access Pass. That is my big, there it is one more time. Thank you very much, Vic, for putting that up. And that's at ryanroxie.com. So let's get back to In the Trenches, and we're our guest today, Kelly LeMieux, bassist, and taking the time out, part Bigfoot, all bassist. And again, he's turning over to the alien side a little bit. What's happening with the band right now? You guys are currently on tour, and how's it going?
Tour. We haven't. I think we're up to show 98 now of the year. I think we're at number 98. We're just kicking ass and not taking names.
You're working, baby. That's amazing.
We're like James Brown, baby. We're the hardest working bands out there right now.
And is it kind of like the way that the Alice Cooper band work? You play a spectrum of gigs. You play a bunch of different types of gigs, right? Hop onto some festivals. You get into some clubs. You get into some theaters.
Yep. All right. Yep. Exactly that. One day we're playing, Sturgis, the Buffalo Chip. The next day we're Captain Geach's Shrimp Shack Shooter. That's from what's the Tom Hanks, that thing you do? Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters. I just watched the gamut.
Talk about Tom Hanks. I just, again, this is not a hot topic, but maybe it's a hot topic plus. We got a logo for that. Plus, just put a plus by there, because I just watched the Elvis movie. Did you watch
I want to see that. No, I want to see it. How was it?
Check it out. It's got a good spin on it, because they do take it from Colonel Parker's perspective. They take a little bit more of like what his influence was on the band, and obviously there's going to be some heartbreak, not just Heartbreak Hotel, but there's some heartbreak about how hard they worked Elvis and how hard they pushed him to the point, pretty much, you could make a case that they killed him. You know?
Yeah. There's a great documentary, 3, 4, 5-parter on one of the Showtimes or HBOs that I started watching, and it was so good. I think it recently just came out. It was on the bus. And I'm like, "Ooh, what's this?" And I started, and everybody just got sucked in. It was like,
do you remember what it was? So we can put it down in the description.
No, but it's one of the ones from. I think it's HBO.
All right, our chat will put it out there, and you know what? Well, then we'll put it in the description afterwards. That'll be good.
Really good though, really good. Like I got sucked in immediately.
Well, let me tell you about this new Elvis film. I felt that it's really good to check it out. Look at it, and the way it's done, I think it's who directed it? Luc Besson. Is that who it was? The guy that did Moulin Rouge. You can see almost it has that Moulin Rouge type of vibe.
It looked visually cool.
Visually amazing, and musically, they're able to combine very new styles of music, like something that you would hear definitely in the 2020s back into the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. So it's all intertwined, and a bunch of different types of flavors, musically, visually, but overall, the guy just looks, and they intersperse real footage. So sometimes you're like going, wait, was that real footage from Elvis, or was that? And you go, oh, it definitely was. And at the very end, they show Elvis at one of his last performances singing, and you just like go, you feel for the guy, because you realize what he had to go through that. So there's a little Hot Topix.
That's why that documentary was really good, because it gets into the whole, they locked him into all these movies, and he, and it was basically like Eddie Murphy said. He just wanted to they wanted him to sing all of his lines. And it gets into that whole, like, who's got publishing and who's getting what. And it talks about him feeling really frustrated about being molded in that capacity. So it's really, really cool. It's really good. I'll look it up. It's fairly recent, but yeah, I got it.
As we're talking, I'm thinking about this Hot Topix plus bonus material, because I just saw from one of those old Elvis movies. There was talk this week about the time that Elvis Presley got a boner while he was filming the movie, and they left it in. And there's a screenshot of him with an erection, and years later, they actually is during one of the dance scenes. Yes, it was very Some Like It Hot, but I know folks don't. I know that Some Like It Hot was a Marilyn Monroe film. Vic is working on it right now. I can tell, because he's
Googling right now in his search Elvis boner pic.
Elvis erection. I'm telling you, folks, and part of you out there watching right now, you can do the same thing. Probably get a higher res version than what we're going to get on the quick Google search. But maybe it's been taken down. Who knows? But it's a pretty revealing shot. Not as revealing as Tommy Lee's latest Instagram post. Hey, there you go.
Oh, wow, he found it. Who's that with? Oh my God, is that Dinosaur? I mean, Dinosaur.
That's not Dinosaur. It's she's a very nice actress. She just
evidently she's very nice.
She was super young in the film too, as well. And I think, and when she came back to do the interview years later, she said he was just so respectful to her and just so nice. I mean, he was just dancing though during the whole set, so you can't control everything. I think what his actual quote was, did you see what little Elvis did? I think that's what he told his Memphis Mafia. I don't know. And I think they said that they were going. They had said that they were going to cut it out, but then the choreography scene was so in. Apparently, everybody in the chat, Vic, wants to have the picture back up. So put the picture back up. Yeah, it's fine. We'll put it back up for you. Not for us at all. But there you go.
Little Elvis,
so there's
what's
proof.
up?
We're voyeuring out to a 1960s photo. This is sick. All right. There you go. What's behind the curtain?
Cover that up.
What's behind the curtain, folks? So there's our little, Honestly, I don't even know we need another Hot Topics after this, mister, because that was just
Not really.
insanely cool. It was really good. I want to talk about you, dude. I want to talk a little bit about you. But before, look at that, son of Squatch.
Son
what is
of a
that
Squatch.
about?
That's
What is
one of this Buckcherryette super fans made that little thing for me, and I liked it so much I had some T-shirts made. I'm out of them, or I would send you one. Damn it! What size are you?
Real throwback me?
Yeah.
What size do I think I am, or what size am I really these days? That's what's happening.
Wait,
I'm in that transition form.
What fits you comfortably? How's that?
I want to be a medium so bad, but I've moved on. I believe I've moved on to a large.
So
what
you're saying is you're a medium plus.
medium plus. I like that.
Okay. I'll dig around and see if I might have a medium plus laying around somewhere.
All right, well, we'll check.
I think that shirt would look good on you.
Oh man. Well, because go put that picture back up again, because obviously Sasquatch is such a
that's what I have
term,
my beard.
and I've never gotten maybe I have, but I've never really been told the definition of Sasquatch. Where does it come from, and why Sasquatch instead of Bigfoot?
It's a West Coast Chehalis Indian, I believe, or is it from Vancouver or Washington? That whole area, I think it's a Chehalis, and I think it's a mispronunciation of it was like Sasquatch or something like that, and then the white dudes started calling it Sasquatch. So it's an Indian name.
All right,
good.
I mean,
whatever your preferred colloquial.
It's not. I thought you'd have like a definitive, definition of what it comes from, but that's good. That's a good one.
It's like basically, it's like I think it's like the boss of the forest, basically.
Well, where does Chaka come from? Do you know?
Chaka comes from the land of the lost.
Sid and Marty Krofft from the mind of
where do the sleep? Hey, where do the sleeves at? We can get into reptilians too. How about this for info? Do you know who played the Slee Stacks?
Okay, if we're going to go back and we're going to start doing these Land of the Lost videos and the Land of the Lost Hot Topics, because that's so much on the cutting edge right now, 2022 Land of the Lost. Folks, for those of you that are watching that don't know what the hell we're talking about with Land of the Lost, it was a 1970s kind of a children's program.
Sid and Marty Krofft.
Sid and Marty Krofft. They made a lot of different programs back in the days. HR Puffin stuff, which was awesome. Lidsville. Everything had a little bit. Everything had a little bit of a cannabis type of feel to it, which is LSD right up your alley. Vibe. Yeah, it's right up your alley with the cannabis, I feel, and it's just like, there you go. Because you are from Oregon, and everything's legal at this point.
Everything is legal.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a nice picture of Chaka, and he's just hanging out with the rest of the Land of the Lost crew. You might have seen the Will Ferrell movie a couple years later, the remake. I obviously liked it. I did enjoy it, but it's not.
Danny McBride.
Oh,
Danny McBride. Oh, yeah. That was funny.
Well, when he throws the dinosaur urine on him, and he goes, immediately made it worse. That's my favorite line of it. And I like it when the big
bug gets on him and sucks all the blood. Suddenly I'm tired. He just passes out.
This is so not Hot Topics, folks, because we're talking about 70s and movies from the early 2000s. I love
not
it.
Topic.
But
it's the not topics.
But
off topic.
You know what? We can talk about after we're going to talk about you and all the bands, but our fan of the week we're going to talk about first, because for 2 weeks in a row, we are going to have Mr. Matt Bishop, because we didn't give him enough credit last week. We're not able to post up on it because he promoted Arcane Roberts in the Trenches podcast so well, and hopefully you will do the same with your Kelly LeMieux episode.
Absolutely.
But folks, this week's fan of the week, again, 2 weeks running, Mr. Matt Bishop, a challenge, and thank you. And I'm just stalling so Vic can put up the picture, and she's trying to find right now. Thank you very much, Vic. That's why you know it's a live stream, because he's just shaking his head in the backstage going, where is that picture? And here it is, right? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay.
Here it is.
All right. our fan of the week, Mr. Matt Bishop. We wish you great fan of the week. Have a great week. Continue on your recovery and get well very soon, because we'll see you out there on the September-October Alice Cooper tour. Of course we will. So there you go. Kelly. Let's talk a little bit about not just Buckcherry, because you're currently on tour, but a few of the other bands you were in, because I did notice that you have a little bit of Alice Cooper alumni that you've jammed with before in the name of Mr. Jimmy DeGrasso. That was Dave Mustaine's MD-45. He played, he was the first drummer I played with in an Alice Cooper band way back in 96.
Great drummer.
Now, what was that? Was that band called MD.45, or what was the period
it's just
in there?
MD-45, and it was Mustaine Dave, and then I think he took the L and the V from Lee Ving and made that the 4 and the 5. Very smart.
Why LV45? How does that correlate?
Well, so it's I think it's the Latin numerals LV. L is a 4 and V is, or I don't know. I flunked Latin. It's a dead language.
I think L is 10, or maybe
it's something to do with the Roman numerals or whatever.
No, you know what?
Leaving.
L is 50 because I know by the Super Bowl, because we're at Super Bowl LV.
There it is.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So that was 40. So leaving 45. That's how he came up with it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Jimmy was great. I used to call Jimmy the only child.
If
you're listening, Jimmy.
You called him what?
I called him the only child. So Dave got us a little minivan to split, and Jimmy would get up every morning at like 6:30, take the van, drive it to the dunes, and ride his bike all day. And I would get up and go, "Hey, where's the fucking van?" And finally, after about the 4th or 5th day, I went, "Jimmy, let me ask you something." I go, "Are you an only child?" And he goes, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I'm all, "Because you motherfucking don't share, do ya?" I love Jimmy, though. Jimmy's awesome.
And Jimmy's way into bikes. At that point, he was like maybe a little too much into bikes.
Too much. So, yeah. Also, you know what? I did a project with Mr. Steve Hunter.
What? That's right.
Yeah,
that's big.
I did a little, it was kind of they put a ringer band together. And Steve came in and played guitar, and I was just like, wow, who's this guy? Holy shit. And I was like, oh, it's Steve Hunter. And you know what's funny? He told me, there it is, exactly.
A lot of alumni going on right there.
If you don't know, now you do. It's Steve Hunter.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Awesome. I mean, it was one of those like, hey, come in and play these songs for a couple of weeks. It was like a showcase for an artist. And it was great. And Steve's great. And wow, what a fucking guitar player. Holy shit, man. That guy's like phenomenal. And that was great. And
I told you at the beginning, I'd throw you up some softballs, but this is kind of like one of those, it's a tough one because you don't want to piss anybody. You want to be politically correct. But what was your most enjoyable band? If I say all these bands, Goldfinger, Electric Love Hogs, Mustaine, MD-45, Shrine, Stork, Buckcherry, which was the most enjoyable, which was the most tumultuous?
The most enjoyable for me has been Buckcherry.
That's great.
It's because we're working.
Spoken like a true politician. I love it.
everybody in the band's sober, so there's no fucking you can you don't get these you don't get any drunken psycho fits or any because that's why I don't drink, because I would get drunk and say stupid shit instead of being sober and saying stupid shit. At least I'm aware of it. Buckcherry's it's everyone's professional. We're all working for the same fucking goal. It's not like, somebody's got ulterior motives here. Like they want to, I want to do this. And they try to manipulate and move shit to their direction. It's fucking the band working for a fucking goal. And I love that. And we go up and we fucking kick ass every fucking night. Even if somebody's having an off night, we're still fucking on our game. I love that. Tumultuous, I'm going to go with Goldfinger. Hands down the most tumultuous. And I love those guys, and I'm still friends with all those guys. And this is nothing that they don't know. And it's nothing that anybody that's ever toured with the band or done shows with the band doesn't fucking know. My first year in that band, I had to go to the doctor because I was having issues with my stomach. Now, I was drinking back then and drinking a lot of coffee back then, but I ended up getting stress ulcers because those guys stressed me out so fucking. Oh, look at that pink hair. I got Crab's shirt. I love that shirt. That's one of those
like
shirts
Elvis. You look a little like Elvis right there.
I had the Elvis. I used to have the Joe Strummer pompadour. When I cut all my hair off the first time, and then you got the blonde. I had so many looks. Wish I still had that bass. Oh, I miss that bass. But that band was very, very stressful. And like I said, I love those guys, but man, there was so much like kinetic, frenetic energy between those other three guys that it was just like I would literally, they would get into like these little tips, and I would literally turn around and walk out and go to the other band's dressing room and sit down, and they just look at me and go, "It's going on, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And I would just leave.
I need to be in Switzerland. I need to be in sort of a safe place.
Big time.
You are my what do they call those? My safe room. You know?
My safe room, my safe house. Yeah. So, but I love those guys, and I still love those guys dearly, and I still talk to them. You know,
panic room. It was your panic room. I love it. So, well, but you did say something very interesting, and it actually dovetails perfectly into our hot topic number 3, because the actual headline of our hot topic was no sex. Wait, no sex. Plenty of sex, no drugs, but plenty of rock and roll. So sex, no drugs, and rock and roll. Everyone's heard the term sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Is it necessary to have the other two for the third to exist? Meaning that, is it necessary to have sex and drugs in order for rock and roll? And I think you guys have proven that it's not in that sense, because there from Blabbermouth again was a Josh Todd article that he put out, and a good, really nice interview. If you guys want to go check that out. But we're here with Kelly LeMieux, and he's going to tell us his perspective about what's it like playing in a sort of drug-free type of band.
Well, I will say this. If you go check our back catalog, there was plenty of drugs. There was between all of us. There was plenty of drugs, plenty of alcohol. So we did have that in the past. I think you definitely need sex though to have rock and roll, because like, fuck, what else are you going to write about? I mean, it's like, there's enough political bands out there.
I think the chorus of Crazy Bitch actually kind of says that as well. It kind of just lays it right out there.
I love the cocaine. I love the cocaine. And, you know, some of us used to love the cocaine. Not me personally. I was never a coke guy. But there was definitely some go fasters in the band. But we wouldn't be touring right now like we do and performing like we do if we were all fucked up. There's no fucking way.
And that's the thing, that it proves that you can. It proves that you can
absolutely
be even more successful in that sense of working and towards a common goal when you don't have all the shenanigans and all this sort of what you were calling earlier, the alcohol sort of psycho fits that may happen in bands from time to time because of that, you know? So for you personally, like, what was it that sort of drove you away from that? Because I know that you have dealt with health issues in the past. You've had, you know, you're a cancer survivor. You're cancer. You know, I don't even know if that's what you call like that, but it's you know, because I mean, you had the big C, you fought the big C, you're in a good place right now. So what do you feel? You know, did that have anything to do with your decision to stop drinking, or was it a completely different type of time story?
It was actually both. It was physically, it was crushing my, oh, you found one. That was great. See, I was wearing a mask when it wasn't cool. There's my cough. That's another thing, man. Being on tour and getting sick, you know how it is. It's like you're constantly trying to play catch up. Physically, it was kicking my ass. Alcohol was kicking my ass, for sure. There was some moments where blood was coming out of places it shouldn't have, and that was kind of like I saw the writing on the wall. I think the last real thing for me was I had a 3-day hangover, and if you know, hangovers shouldn't last that long, and to have a 3-day hangover. And I had some real crazy episodes that I really don't even want to talk about on here because I don't want to incriminate any other people either. But I had some crazy, like I was up for a couple, I said I didn't like the cocaine, but the handful of times I did do it.
It liked you.
Man, you can really.
You didn't do the drugs. To quote Marilyn Manson, the drugs did you. But the thing is, you. So yeah, and you realize the older that you do get, you're still lucky enough to do this for a living.
Oh man,
that perhaps, you know, those benders and those things you could do back in the day takes a day. Because to be honest with you, a 3-day hangover, if I think about it right now these days, if I was to drink like I drank years ago, I would have a 3-day, maybe, you know, more 3-day plus.
Yeah,
like medium plus. I have a 3-day plus hangover.
3-day, yeah, absolutely. I was just like, I'm all, and you know, I just saw the writing on the wall. I dodged a lot of bullets that I was just like, it was like literally like there was this giant wall in front of it that said, "Hey, buddy, next time you might not be so lucky. Why don't you stop?" And my father is 47 years without alcohol. My brother stopped drinking 10 years ago. I haven't drank in 17 years. I did when I went through leukemia, I had AML leukemia 6 years ago. It was so, because it's very aggressive chemo. I mean, they started me on 2 bags of chemo first fucking day. I did a whole tour where I'm like, man, I got this like weird Euro bug that won't go away. And we had
really. What did it feel like? Did it feel just like a cold, or did it?
Well, it felt like a cold, and it could not get healthy. That's why I've had this like hack that I got. That it's like anytime I feel ill for more than like 4 days, 5 days a week, I totally go into this paranoid mode where I'm like, oh shit, is this shit coming back? Like, it doesn't matter what. It's just a natural. You know, it could be like, oh, my shoulder. It's fuck, is it shoulder cancer? You know, it's like I try to just like. But,
got out.
Yeah. So I did a whole tour where I just didn't feel good. And one day I would be kind of okay. And then the next day we'd go to walk on stage and I could barely walk up the stairs, and I'd have to do a whole hour and 20-minute set in the fucking heat. And I'm up there going like, am I fucking dying? What the fuck is going on? And I did it so weird, a 6-day break. I got home. I booked a week before. I booked to get my blood test done, get my blood test done. I did that on Monday. Tuesday, I had a fucking root canal. Wednesday, I'm sitting there just going like, man, I feel like shit. I was getting ready to leave in like 3 days to go back out on the tour again. And I'm like, and then my phone rings, and it's because I'm like, man, these motherfuckers better call me. What the fuck? And my phone rings. Hey, what's up? And hi, Kelly, this is so-and-so from Providence Hospital. Hey, we got your test results in. We want you to come in and talk about them. And I just looked at my girlfriend at the time. I just looked at her and I just
that's not good.
I just looked at her and I go, as I'm talking to him, I go, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. And sure enough, they're like, can you come in? This was like 3 o'clock. They're like, can you come in like 6:30? I'm thinking 6:30. I ain't waiting that long. I go, no, have anything sooner? We have one in 20 minutes. And I go, grab my keys. And I go, I'll be right there. I get in there, and God bless. I would never want to tell somebody they had fucking cancer. What a shitty job. But it's funny. I went in there and I go in and like everybody's just all, oh my God. They're like, yep, there I am. And God bless the people at Providence in Portland, man, right on Gleason. My doctor, John Godwin, just retired, and I ended up that guy's like one of the top AML leukemia researchers and doctors. For some odd reason, he ended up in the hospital 4 miles from my house as the crow flies. And he just retired. I just saw him right before he retired. Awesome guy. But yeah, I went in there and they were like, and all the nurses were great too. And I went in there and they do this whole like rope-a-dope. We're like, oh my God, you're in Buckcherry. We love Buckcherry. Da, 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 da. And then she goes, so let's talk about your test results.
Oh, man.
Let's talk about your test results. And just sit there and stared at me. And so I basically had to drag it out of her. And by the time I finally got her to like, I'm all, so not good, like cancer, not good. And she hands me this piece of paper. Yes, you have AML leukemia. Ba-da-da. And I just looked at her and I go, are you fucking kidding me? I don't got time for this shit. I'm going on tour in 2 days. And she goes, no, you're not. You're going to the hospital for a month at least. Here's your doctor. Here's where you're going. You're getting a bone marrow biopsy. We're starting you on aggressive chemo. And just like that, 3 weeks later, I'm fucking bald as fuck. Yeah, that's me.
Damn.
There I am. I look good with the bald head, though. God damn it.
You kind of do, though. You have a good look. You know, it's a sort of a Billy Corgan vibe, and
right.
You know,
I was thinking Mr. Clean. No. But anyways, those guys were great. I fucking went into remission after the first month. I went through the rest of my chemo. I was back on tour in 5 months.
Now that's an amazing story about it, but your attitude through it all, did it change your attitude, your outlook on life?
You know what? Well, I had always, I lost my mom to cancer. Probably about 5 or 6 years before that. So I had already gone through, like, that was really heavy and hard for me. That was actually more painful emotionally to go through than it was for me to actually have it. I'm cool with me, but to watch my mom, and I'm the oldest too, and I feel like kind of the oldest kind of has a little more of a special bond because you're the first kid. I could be wrong.
First kid.
That's how I felt. But that crushed me way more than me. I actually sat there and laid in bed and was like going like, oh shit, dude, this might be it for you, motherfucker. And so I was like, I guess I should think about my regrets. And I had 2 fucking regrets. One of them was we didn't take my mom out of the hospital and let her fucking die at home. That was my biggest regret. Cause you have that like, oh, maybe she had glioblastoma. I believe it's the same thing. There's me and my mom. I was like,
oh man, that's a nice shot. Nice shot, Vic.
Good job. That's making me a little fucking weepy right now.
Oh, I get it. It's okay.
Take it off.
You know what? It's not like we do in the trenches. And it's not like a lot of times that we do hot topics. We talk about fucking Bigfoot and aliens, and then we talk about
your mom,
and then we show pictures of your mom, and we talk about fucking cancer and stuff. So there is going to be emotions in this. But
that was my biggest regret.
Yeah.
My second one was I didn't order a USA custom shop Spectre bass, which is the only affiliation. I was just sitting there laying in bed going, man, if I get out of here, I'm ordering a fucking custom shop fucking Spectre bass. Fuck it.
How the hell did Vic know that was going to be up there in the thing? That's amazing. You guys must have done a little bit of pre-talking because, man, how did he know that there was going to be a Spectre bass? I love it. But you know what? More than that, I love your attitude. Thank you for sharing the story about it because I mean, I know it started off as what's it like to play in a sober band, and it looks obviously it's great because you guys are doing more work. You're booked up until at least the end of the year, and keep on rolling through next year. And then we end up on this, but at the same time, it's something that affects us all. It's something that affects people that are listening right now are dealing with they know someone that knows someone that's dealing with it and stuff. So I appreciate you sharing that story. And I mean, what can I say? It's like, wow. I mean, you've come
I'm here, baby.
Just,
I'm here.
yeah, you're
I'm
still here,
talking
and
to
it's
you.
not like you're you know, you got a show tonight. You got a show here, and you're playing.
We're gonna rock and roll it, man. I'm gonna go up there and just be fucking grateful.
Oh man,
Seriously,
well, I'm grateful. We are all grateful for you being on In the Trenches. Let me tell you that much.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna tell you something funny. The one thing that really got me through was I was just like, I just want to get back on tour. I just want to get back on tour. If I can just get back on tour, I'm gonna get back on tour. And you know what? Careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Because we have been on tour, and I'm just freaking grateful. I'm grateful for the guys. You know, everybody's just been, just everybody along the way with that whole thing, that whole episode. And the further you get away from it, you know, you tend to just kind of forget about it. And now sometimes I'm like, was that a dream? And then Vic pulled those photos up of me with no hair. I'm like, oh no, I actually have a photo. Whenever I start getting squeaky and bitchy and whiny, I have a photo that I pull up from me in the hospital where I'm trying to pretend like I'm happy, but you can see that under my eyes, I'm fucking trying not to die. And I pull that photo up every 3 or 4 months when I start getting little poopy pants. I'll pull that photo up and go, hey, dickhead, don't forget. So I'm just grateful to still be here, man.
Very good, man. Very good. Please say hello to everybody in the band. It was a great tour that we did. Hopefully we get to we're able to do it again. It was a really good run that we did. It was called the ACBC tour. We love that one. Alice Cooper, Buckcherry. You know, a little side note to all you guitar aficionados out there. Billy Rowe from the Great Rock and Roll Relics is in the band. Buckcherry as well.
Jet Boy, also from Jet Boy.
Oh, of course, Jet Boy. We always never go. He's been on the podcast. He's a ITT alumni. We got to get Stevie. We got to get Josh on the pod as well. Absolutely. At one point as well.
Yes,
and everybody. I mean, my point about Billy being that you might just see another Rock and Roll Relics guitar on the next Alice Cooper tour, the run with Kane Roberts. Because if Kane's going to bring out his machine gun guitar, Roxie's got to bring out some sort of I need some sort of revenge, if you will.
I think you do.
There's a little foreshadowing right there. And speaking about what's coming up next, how about next week we've got Logan and Will from the band Robot Monster, and they could be the new frontmen. If you've seen them on Instagram, you can go check it out right now if you want. There's Logan and Will. I became a fan of theirs on Instagram. Loved what they're doing. Loved their album is coming out next week, so we'll have them on to celebrate that, and we'll check that out. And for all the people that are watching and listening, what is the best way for people to get in touch with Kelly LeMieux?
Probably Instagram. Yeah, right there.
You're right there. There's all the.
Yeah.
There you go. At LeMieux Kelly.
That's me.
Because
that's
Kelly
generally. I don't know, dude. Somebody might have got it for. I don't know. There's actually a couple other Kelly LeMieux, but I'm the most famous.
Yeah. I love it. Well, hey, go check it out. Check out Kelly. Check out the band Buckcherry that's out on tour right now. What are your plans now until the rest of the year? And are there 2023 plans as well?
Oh yeah. So right now we're going to finish. I think we're out till mid-September, and then we get a little break, which is nice. I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to go to the coast and chill out. And we're doing the Kiss cruise, which will be cool.
Okay, when is that? The end of October or November?
End of October over Halloween. I think it's the 28th until the 1st or 2nd of November, and then from there we go right to Nashville. We're going to do another record with Marty Fredrickson, and then we are going to New Zealand and Australia, and then I think we're actually probably going to take about 5 months off and just go away because we've been touring so much. Let people remember why they love us so much, so they'll come back and see us when the new record comes out, probably in 23, is I think the plan in May, June, July, however long it takes to set it up.
Well, I really hope our paths cross again.
Me too.
Not just with the bands, but personally as well.
Me
So if you
too.
see us, look on our schedule. If you want to find out any about the tour dates for us, it's ryanroxie.com or alicecooper.com. And hopefully our tour dates will coincide with your guys' tour dates. And at one
Man, that'd
point
be
we all
great.
meet. Usually I end the pod by giving some sort of inspirational advice that you have. Maybe it's a quote, maybe it's a saying, but you've given us so much inspiration today with that story about how, you know, the big C diagnosis and how your attitude was with it, and how you continue to this day to use music as a strong sort of, you know, just a reason for you to, you know, beat it and kick it and keep playing every single day. Is there any other advice that you want to give our listeners to that you've gotten over the years?
I got some advice for young musicians. You can't fake calluses. You can't fake them.
You really can't. You know what? You can't teach experience, and you can't fake calluses. I love that.
Also, the other one for you up and comers, you're only on stage for maybe like an hour, 2 hours, depending on who you're with. The rest of the time is the hang. If you can't hang, you're not going to get the gig. Classic example, one of my favorite fusion bass players, Jaco Pastorius, revolutionized the electric bass. That guy at the end of his career arguably was the best bass player on the planet, at least electric bass. Couldn't get a gig because of his personal life was a mess. Yeah. So be a good, easy, fun hang at least. Those are my two big musical advices. Other than that,
well, you know what, Kelly?
Dick.
You've been an amazing hang. You haven't been a dick. You've been nothing but. And it's been great hanging with you. We'll do it again sometime. For those of you that are just tuning in right now, you got to check out our whole talk about Bigfoot, aliens, Frontmen, Sobriety, everything that goes on before. But guess what? We'll see you next week with the robot music. And of course, Kelly and I will be somewhere out there on the road very, very soon. So everybody, Ryan, thanks for tuning in. And again, just hit that like button. Hit that like button, folks, for us. Just it helps out the algorithm. Go check out all of Kelly LeMieux's social media. Start following them. Start supporting them. Hit our subscribe button. And above all, everybody, enjoy the ride. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you. Love you.
Oh my God, and our big hot thoughts and prayers and love and everything else to Olivia Newton-John. We love her. She was the ultimate front woman. And you know what? Rest in peace. Thank you so much, Mr. Vic, for putting that up. I did actually, I was like all emotional and stuff about the stuff before. Now I'm going to get emotional about Olivia. But hey, enjoy it, everybody. Have a good weekend and enjoy the ride. See you guys.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.